Danger, nerdy photographer. Danger.
Thanks, Robot. I'm aware. Oh, hey. Welcome to the Nerdy Photographer Podcast. I'm your host, Casey Fatchett. If you've never listened to the show before, welcome. Thanks for joining us. If you want to go back and dive into the back catalog after this episode, head over to nerdyphotographer.com/podcast, where you can find our most popular episodes as well as good places to start, depending on how far back you want to go. In addition to providing entertaining and informative photography-related information, I also go on adventures with the crew of the Starship Bonacci. You may have noticed that we're breaking in a new security robot. His official designation is C10, but I just call him Robot. Say hi, Robot.
Danger.
Thanks, buddy. In this episode of the podcast, I interview amazing wedding photographer Susan Stripling, and she has lots of advice and tips for photographers and wedding photographers in particular. We even talk about what makes both of us still experience an existential crisis after more than 20 years in the wedding photography business. Speaking of existential crises, I may be having one right now as Robot and I are stuck in a shuttle with no engines with some alien life form eating its way through the hull from the outside to get to us.
Danger.
Super helpful, Robot. Be sure to stay tuned to my conversation with Susan Stripling right after the break. I'm just going to try to get the engines back online.
Danger.
Yep. Got it. Much appreciated. Hey, photographers. Are you tired of using the same stale poses with your clients, resulting in stiff and unnatural photos? Consider using Let's Be Real prompts instead. Prompts are not just a list of poses. They're designed to help you create a more engaging, fun environment for your photo subjects, resulting in more natural and authentic images. With the Nerdy Photographer's Let's Be Real prompts, you'll have a unique set of prompts for couples, weddings, families, and individuals, ensuring that you never run out of ideas. Prompts are particularly helpful for clients who are nervous or self-conscious about having their picture taken. By giving them something else to focus on, they can become more relaxed and their reactions will be more authentic and less guarded. Using Let's Be Real prompts will not only help you create more fresh and dynamic images, but it will also increase your confidence and your client's confidence in you. You'll be able to handle difficult situations and subjects with ease, resulting in more satisfied clients and a stronger photography business. So start using Let's Be Real prompts from the Nerdy Photographer today and elevate your photography to the next level. Go to nerdyphotographer.com and go to our store, or click the link in the episode notes and get started creating authentic, engaging images today. Hey photographers, are you ready for a website glow up? Get supercharged with StyleCloud. StyleCloud offers beautifully designed, high-performing website templates built just for creatives like you. Whether you're showcasing weddings, portraits, or passion projects, you'll look as good online as your work does in print. Were you left high and dry and wondering what you were going to do with your Flow Themes website when the company shut down? No problem. StyleCloud makes migrating your Flow Themes site easy. Your content moves over, no stress, no mess. Plus, import your images directly from your PicTime galleries. No downloading, no re-uploading, just seamless integration and stunning design. Visit nerdyphotographer.com/recommends/StyleCloud or visit the link in the episode notes. Save 15% when you use code NerdyPhoto15 at checkout. That's nerdyphotographer.com/recommends/StyleCloud and use code NerdyPhoto15. StyleCloud isn't just a template, it's a launch pad for your brand. Get started today. Hello, and welcome to the Nerdy Photographer Podcast. I'm your host, Casey Fatchett, and today on the show, we have the wonderful Susan Stripling. Susan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. You have me and 3 dogs in my living room at once. So if you hear chaos, sometimes it's just unstoppable.
The more dogs, the merrier.
Always.
Before we get into the meat of the conversation, we're going to start with the dice breaker.
Do it.
18. All right. Dream dinner party. Like you can invite whoever you want, living or dead.
Oh my God.
Let's limit it to 5 people.
Okay, 5 people. Dream wedding party, living or dead.
No, dinner party. Dinner party. Not
okay, dinner party. Okay, they could be living or dead.
Yes.
All right.
Or fictional, for that matter.
Or fictional.
Really,
you can't open it up like that.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right, we'll take away the fictional.
Okay, so we have to start with the obvious. We're inviting Meryl Streep because Meryl Streep is fantastic. Lin-Manuel Miranda, that's number 2. Alexander McQueen, because we have to talk about design. That's number 3. Stephen King, because I need to discuss his stay at the Stanley Hotel when he wrote The Shining. And oh no, I feel like I should say something like something really deep or insightful or something like that, but it's just not that deep or insightful. Let's invite Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay, that's a
bizarre dinner party, and I think we would have a very good time.
There's just a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on there.
There's there is a lot going on.
It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of theater involved. There's which actually leads me to my first question. Why are there so many theater people in the wedding industry? What do you think it is? Is it drama, the performance aspect of it?
Yes. It's so funny because it was just like a natural pipeline from theater to photography, and especially weddings, because like theater has a 3-act structure or 2-act structure. Weddings do too. There's lighting. You have to design lighting. There's moments. You have to anticipate moments. Like they're pretty much, when it comes down to it, the same thing, except weddings usually have less singing involved. So maybe more like plays and less like musicals. But I do know a lot of former theater people who've made the transition just into the wedding world.
So many.
Yeah.
When I moved to New York to be an actor, and when I eventually got into like wedding photography, like the first thing I noticed was like so many, like the makeup artists, planners, photographers, like all these people who were like former theater people. And I'm like, why? I'm like, well, and I said the same thing. There's really a performance aspect to it. And I don't like to say that too much around clients because they say like, what do you mean you're performing? And I'm like, no, it's like, it is like a performance in the sense that you can prepare as much beforehand as you want, but there's like no do-overs. You have to improvise if things go wrong. There is a structure to it. There is a run of show to it. And, there are similarities, even though they can be wildly different. There's always a similarity to it. Like each like show is unique. The people you're dealing with is unique, but it has the same sort of. There's a feel to it that is like similar. So I think I think it naturally attracts.
Agreed.
Theater people. Oh, and a cat too.
I have 3 dogs and 2 cats. So. Oh, see, and the cat just smacked the dog. So for those of you listening, that's the sound of a slightly mean cat punching a dog in the face.
We used to, when we lived in the city, we had a cat and a dog, and the cat used to lay on the coffee table and just wait for the dog to walk by, and would just smack him in the face.
Yes, it's funny.
And then the dog would chase him around the entire apartment and then, knock everything over until the cat was on top of the bookshelves. You can't catch me here.
Well, they're all scared of her. I have one cat. She has 3 legs. Her name is Tripod, obviously. They're all terrified of Tripod because she's the one that punches. Lucy is just an idiot, and no one is scared of Lucy at all, which is kind of fabulous.
Just a big mush.
A big, weird mush. Correct.
Awesome. So... all right, let's talk about because we were talking about a little bit preparing and getting prepared for a wedding. Okay. And I have a routine that I go through. What's your routine that you go through to prepare to shoot a wedding?
Are we talking like day of?
Yeah, or just leading up to it. I mean, I have a whole thing where I'm the day before, I'm going through and checking all the batteries, is everything charged? Yep. Are all my cards reformatted? Or just do a quick check of the camera. Is the camera working? Just let's make sure. And, those sort of things that I do the day before. And then the things that I do the morning of, I just get myself in the day before. I'll also go through, where's my checklist and my, run of show for the day and kind of look at everything and kind of go okay, just reminding myself of all the stuff that's going on, any relationships that I need to be, not wary, but aware of. Some of them wary, but that sort of thing.
It's there's we all have the day before routine, and I feel like they all really look similar. It's have we synced our cameras on time.gov? Have we made sure all of our batteries are charged? And it's the simple stuff that I'll forget. Like I'll charge my batteries, but I could leave them sitting on the counter. So this is why we have to do it day before.
Right.
Day of, it's actually a really good question. Day before, I always go over the timeline with whoever's working with me. I'll read it. I'll get in touch with them because like if I've got an assistant or a second photographer coming in to work with me, I want to make sure like let's all park at the same parking lot because in New York, like you've got to find your parking and we're all going to park here and let's talk through it. And here are the weird things you need to know that are not maybe written down. So we have like a final roundup, just sort of informal text chat. Morning of, I pack food, make sure I have my water and all of my electrolytes because I feel like that's really important.
Some liquid IV.
100. I literally have some in my water bottle currently right now. I always make sure I have my earplugs because for some reason, like I never put them back in the same place. I know I should, but I just don't. And then I usually have an existential crisis. Like that's my main part of my preparation is a brief existential crisis as I leave the house and go into the city. And it usually goes like this, where it's like, I don't feel prepared. I don't want to do this. I want to go home. Something's going to go wrong. I'm going to get stuck in traffic. It's just like kind of just a small, like,
it's
like as a treat.
I do that too. I do.
It's so funny. It's like, I love what I do for a living, but in the car on the way there, I'm like, how can I get out of this? I just want to go home. What am I supposed to do? I don't want to do this. 5 minutes into shooting, I'm like, this is the most fun I've ever had in my life. Like, this is great. I'm so happy to be here. But it's like on the way in, I just have to have this. What have I done with my life? I just want to go home. Yeah. And it's been the same way for 20 years. And it's funny because the more I talk to my friends about it, everyone does it.
Yeah. It's this weird anxiety. I mean, I do it. I have anxiety anyway, but it's just like my wife always comments and she's like, yeah, go be great and have fun and whatever. And I'm leaving. I'm like, I don't want to go. Like there's just like this panic, like, and then it's like, what if I forgot something? Like, 'cause that's always the thing. I'll be 100 yards from the house and I'll be like, wait, did I actually pack all this stuff? And I'm like trying to go back through my head. I'm like, yeah, I packed that. But I will get out of my car. I'll stop, get out of the car, and like just quickly check. And yeah, there's this an existential crisis is a. And
my worries they make no sense. It's like, am I going to the right venue? Is the wedding really today? Yes. Do I know how to take a picture? And it's like, what are you like? What is my brain doing? But it's all in the car on the way there. And my boyfriend, who's also a wedding photographer, he second shoots with me sometimes. And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And he's like, it's just part of your process. Yeah. So we all have to get out of it so that then we can have the flip once we start. And we're like, this is so fun. I'm having a great time.
Yeah. It's such a, I don't know. It's such a weird feeling. Like it's the same thing. Like, am I going to the right place? Like, I know I've checked this 100 times.
Right.
I checked it yesterday. Why am I still
canceled and I don't know about it? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, we've both been around the industry for a long time. My next question has something to do with that. Like, what are the biggest changes that you've seen? And I mean, I started shooting film. Like, what were the biggest changes that you've seen in the wedding industry? That
honestly, the biggest change is just how multifold marketing is now. Like and it's so funny. I was talking with my partner literally about this last night is people who ask, they're like, well, how did you get started? Thinking I'm going to give them some like great nuggets of information. And I'm like, my dude, it was 2001. Like I went to a wedding fair and put an ad in the local magazine. That's how I got. So like, that was all you did.
Yeah.
And you were good. And now there's just so many different avenues to market yourself. And it's too much. It's too much. The marketing of it has become a second full-time job. And there's no point at which, and like when I first got started, once you kind of built a name in your community, people knew who you were and you were good. You just had to show up at the wedding fair and put your ad in the magazine and your year was full.
Right.
And now it's like, did I do an Instagram reel? Did I do a carousel? Should I be on TikTok? Are we still doing Facebook? Like
we're not doing Facebook, by the way.
No, we're definitely not doing Facebook. And I'm also not doing TikTok because I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm too old. I can't do it.
I do it for this stuff, but I don't do it for like work because it's just like it's.
And my clients don't seem to really use it. much. Like they'll use it like I do for entertainment and cat videos. But legitimately, like so much, like photography trends come and go. But the biggest change has just been what a full-time job marketing has become.
Oh yeah, it is. It's the one thing when people ask me like, what would you, if there's something you could just do? I'm like, if I could have somebody who could speak in my voice, and I could trust with all of that marketing stuff, because I don't know about you. I have trouble delegating to anybody. So it's like, it's got to sound like me. It's got to sound like me. Because if it doesn't sound like me, like I am what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference from anybody else. So if it doesn't sound like me, then what's the point of putting it out there? But yeah.
Not only market, like we all now have to be content creators. And I'm like, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to wear my meta glasses at weddings. I don't want to take behind the scenes footage. Like, I just want to take pictures. Like that's really all I want to do. I want to take pictures, and I don't even mind doing Instagram posts. I don't mind doing it, but the level to which it has to be done, I feel like there's just been some focus has been lost on the work itself. And it's just, again, it's this, I have this second full-time job of being a content creator, and I don't know how I feel about it. I feel old. I don't like it.
Yeah, it has this, I think it's because it's draining in a way, because you feel like you're putting all this energy into it, and you don't have a real solid sense of what you're getting back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like you said, you used to be able to, I'm going to go to this, wedding fair. This is going to at least take care of a big chunk of my year, whatever. When people ask me, I'm like, I used to meet people at coffee shops with a print, like not even a book, but
one sample album.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even a sample album when I started. Well, mine wasn't. It was like a portfolio with prints in it, and we'd flip through that, and they'd look, and these were all stuff, and people were like, what? And I was delivering, printed proofs of all the photos, and
all were,
and it's just, now it's throw it into a gallery and
put it all on Instagram. And
how quick can you get it to us?
Correct. And there's a lot that I do like about it. Like, I don't want to sound like old and curmudgeonly, like I don't like how the industry's changed. I like a lot of it. I just feel like the proportion of balance in my business is a little skewed.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like more and more we're spending more and more energy on like just trying to get people to see our work. Yep. I think is a good way of putting it. Instead of the, hey, I'm doing the thing that I like to do.
Don't you want it?
Right. Don't you want the thing? This is why you hired me, right? This is why people hire me. Speaking of which, like this is something like that's something that I've been dealing with just my wedding business, mm-hmm. and thinking about like, do I really need to post on Instagram? Not every day, but like regularly. What am I posting or whatever? But you kind of get burned out by it.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt the burnout creeping in? Like,
absolutely. And what worked best for me is not batch processing, but like bulk scheduling stuff to go out on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's not so much burnout. It's at what point are we just churning out content to churn out content? Like, I want to share my work. I want people to see it. I want prospective clients to find it, but like, does it have to be at this frenetic pace? So it's not so much, it's funny. It's not even burnout. It's like, it gives me great anxiety. Yeah. I almost miss burnout. That was at least a little relaxing. Right? Like, this is just kind of panicky. And the speed to which things need to be put out there is also panicky. It's not enough if you shoot a wedding on a Saturday to get some sneak peeks out in a week. It has to be out a day or in 2 days, or then the planners need them. And it's just, things have gotten a little manic.
Yeah.
I miss the days of burnout, kind of. Who knows?
Yeah. It's that feeling of like, yeah, how many selects are you going to have for us tomorrow? And it's just like, I've got another wedding tomorrow. Or like, I'm, I'm getting home from this at 5 o'clock in the morning, and
I can do it. I can absolutely do it. It's just trying to figure out like what matters and what kind of timeline actually matters and what's reasonable and what not, and does it even matter? Like there's a planner that I really love who got married probably about a month ago, and he didn't drop all of his previews of his own wedding, and he's like a really like just amazing designer. You would have expected his stuff would come out like the next day.
yeah.
He actually didn't start sharing sneaks for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, decided to go on honeymoon and like not.
And I loved it because I was like, okay, we kind of waited for this.
Yeah.
So
Anticipation. People like have that delayed gratification.
yeah.
And
so I like to really balance my burnout and my panic attacks. I feel like they kind of, they level each other out over time.
I feel like we're kindred spirits in a lot of ways, things you're saying. It's the constant like hamster wheel is what I refer to it as. Like you're just like you feel like if you stop, you're not a shark. If you stop swimming, you're going to die. And it's not the case, actually.
It's hard though, because like this is the kind of job where you never, like you don't get tenure, you don't have job security. Like you have to basically audition for your own job dozens of times a year, every year. And I've had people ask me, they're like, at what point does that stop? And I'm like, I don't know. When it does, I'll tell you, because it's the same thing every year. And as I get older and sort of life priorities shift and change, I have a really hard time enjoying that the way that I did in like my late 20s and early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice if there was a point where
absolutely
you have to hamster wheel it every single.
I get that a lot from younger photographers who are like, oh, well, when point does it get easy? And I'm like, I don't know. That's sweet to think that it does. It doesn't. It's like you're always going to be like hustling for your entire career. If this is how you want to do it, if you want to be a freelancer, then you are a freelancer, and that's how things go.
My oldest kid is a theatrical. She does lighting. She's an electrician, and asked me probably about a year into it, like, is this what freelance life is like? And I'm like, yes, it
is. Guess what? This is how things go.
Enjoy. We all chose this.
Yeah, it's you remember this in New York? There used to be a thing called the Freelancers Union. There was like just a web people who would get like artists and basically people who could join, and you could contribute to a 401k, and there was other things, whatever. But it was just like it's since gone the way of the dodo. But I always thought like this at that point in time, people kind of there was a greater understanding that this is not a career like others, where you had like a lot of resources to help like people plan for the rest of their life, and how it was going to be. But I agree with you. I think that I mean, frankly, age does have something to do with it. You get older and your priorities change, and there are times when like I turn down jobs because I'm like, I can tell this is going to be problematic. There's going to be something going, like I hear keywords that people say, and I'm just like, I am not the right person for this job anymore. Or I wasn't ever the right person for this job. Like I'm not a type A person. I'm not going to shout at people and scream at them and tell them to get in order. And then, and I can see like in a meeting where like somebody's like, my family's really unruly and you're really going to need to like, and I'm like, I'm pretty good at handling people. I was a director too, but when I started to like hear certain words, I'm like, no, this is like, they want somebody who's going to, is a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And that's not me. And I'm not going to enjoy that. But they're like, I've gotten better at like identifying those things and just being like, I'm not a fit for it. And actually being comfortable saying no, because it preserves my sanity. Yeah. And I think that when you're younger, you're more willing to like, I'm going to take every job I can get. That pays my rate. And I'm going to like, I don't care. I'm going to do 50 weddings a year or whatever. And just,
oh my God, I used to do that. I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, like I do feel like getting older does make things easier because you know who you are, and I've done this so many times that even though I do have my existential crisis on the way to every single job, I could do this in my sleep if I had to, right? Like there's such security in knowing who I am as a person and a photographer, and it does get easier to balance like my life with my work. And so in a lot of ways, like being a freelancer is a huge gift.
Yeah.
It's just, again, getting a little older, you feel the parts of it that are not a gift.
Yeah. It's sort of like, oh man, there are days, like my wife has a job, like her regular office job.
Mhm.
And she works a lot of hours, but it's like, there's sometimes where I'm saying like, there are times when I would like to just go to an office.
Yeah.
And
then go home.
And the work is set here. Like, this is what you're going to work on today. There might be a couple things that pop up, but like, instead of always being in charge of making the decisions. And that's something I tell people, like, you have to get used to, if you're going to run your own business, you have to get used to making the decisions. You are in charge of making all of the decisions. Like, nobody's going to come in and be like, oh, this is what you should work on today. You have to prioritize things, and you have to
do it.
Yeah. And you actually have to do the things. You can't just write down a list. I have thousands of lists. I've got notebooks and like writing pads all over the place with like lists, and there's stuff and I actually went through, I was flying somewhere and I grabbed a notebook because I just like to do some writing while I'm on the plane.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I need to organize my thoughts on some things, whatever. And I pulled out this notebook and I go, wow, there's some really great ideas in this notebook that I just never went back and read.
I wrote these things.
Oh man, there's just like, there's like great marketing stuff in here. There's just like fantastic, that I wrote down, and I don't even know how old that is. But yeah, you actually have to do the things.
True. Sometimes it's a lot easier to just not do things. But that's what I feel like I've gotten a lot better at. Just being in business for a long time is, okay, I know that I can do the things and I know how long it will take me to do the things. So I'm going to do the things today, and tomorrow I'm just going to go to the beach with my friends. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll just get it. And I used to be like super hyper into like hustle culture. Like, you're always working, you're always grinding. And I'm like, wow, that's terrible. Why did I do that? That doesn't make me feel good at all. And at a certain point, I'm just working to work. Yep. So why not just put that down and read a book for just a minute? Just a minute. So
I think one of the things that really woke me up to it was, my wife would joke about how, when May rolled around, she's like, oh, see you in October. And, my friends would say things like, oh, we're going to have this get together, a barbecue or whatever. Yeah. Assume that you can't make it because you're probably working. And I was just like, wait a second. What? And I was like, how many? And I was started to think about how many gatherings I missed. And I've got, a friend's 50th birthday coming up next month. And I set that weekend aside because I was somebody I've known for 30 years, more than 30 years. And, I'm going to that birthday party. I'm not working. I'm not going to take somebody.
My daughter's college graduation is on the calendar, and it is a prime May weekend. Yeah. And there's no amount of money that would make missing that. Well, that's actually not true. There definitely is an amount of money that would make missing that okay, but it's not the kind of money you would make.
It's not practical. It's not
a week. No. That's win the lottery money. And then at that point, she would understand.
Yeah. And she'd be like, okay, we'll figure something out.
No, you can't and when I was younger, I thought you have to take every wedding whenever it comes because you never know when there's going to be another one. And at some point I was just I have to be able to say no sometimes. I have to have an actual life. This isn't what you do for a living is not who you are.
I recently turned down a job. Well, kind of turned down, did not get the job did not move forward because it was a corporate gig for 6 days.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this could be, and it was 6 long days, 12 plus hours.
Oh, wow.
So pretty substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
They wanted everything delivered the next day. So I was I'm going to have to hire an assistant to, because there's no way I'm editing photos. So I said, I'm going to have to budget for somebody to be there. And I provided them a quote, like, like with the information. And this is a pretty big, like, a lot of people know about this event. It's a big deal. And I was like, okay, there's probably going to be a healthy budget for this. So I sent them my quote broken down a little bit. And they were like, oh, well, how much if we do a full buyout on the images? Because we like don't want to, like, because what you have in your quote is for, I was like, it's internal use, news or whatever, things like that, licensing for like certain things. And they're like, what if we open that up to anything, any sort of use in perpetuity? And I'm like, and I said, you can't afford it. It's definitely not in your budget. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, that's going to be like $750 an image. And they're like, what?
Different order. That's in perpetuity buyout is a very different.
Yeah. And then they were like, huh?
You know what you're really asking for when you're asking for that.
Well, it's because they don't want to go back and have to like figure out, oh, do we still have a license to use this image? But this was like 2 months of going back and forth about this job. And then finally they came back and they said, oh, well, we're moving forward unless you can like do this within the budget, which, I don't think that you can. No. Because their budget for both photo and video was half of what I quoted them.
Oh no.
And I just said, yeah, it's not going to work. Best of luck. And there's an inside of myself. I was really proud.
Yeah.
Because I didn't say, oh, how can I make this work?
And there's been plenty of times when there's great luxury and privilege in being able to say no. Yeah. There have been plenty of jobs that I've been like, okay, I'll do it because I have to pay my bills. But it's a really beautiful feeling to be able to be like, you know what? I can't bend to the place that you want me to be.
Right. Because it was still
what you want at the level that you need it.
Right. Because it was still a substantial amount of money. And I was sitting there thinking and I'm like, they're just going to find some like 25-year-old kid who's going to work themselves to death, like literally probably like trying to edit those photos themselves and everything. Like, this is just, And I was like, I felt really proud of myself for saying no and being able to do that and be like, okay, this would have physically, I'd be a mess.
And like you think about those jobs in your career where you're like, this was a learning lesson. Like the first time I shot like a 3-day Indian wedding in the summer, I was like, I underquoted this. I'm dying of heat stroke.
Yeah.
Like some 20-something-year-old kid's going to get that job and is going to look back on that job and be like, I didn't quote this properly. These are the things that I need to consider. And there is like a lot of, like, I don't make those mistakes anymore. Yeah. Like, and now if I do say, you know what? Yeah, okay, I can do it for that budget because I just need to make some money. I can always be right with the decisions I've made because I've had so many lived experiences. I know what I'm saying yes or no to. And I'm not going to say yes to it, even if it's dropping rates or doing a job you don't want to do. I'm always going to be cool with whatever decision I've made instead of, and I think back to things that I said yes to when I was younger and I was like, well, I didn't know.
Yeah.
You
hadn't learned yet that those there are warning signs or that there are things that you're going to regret doing the job more than you're going to regret not taking it. Like I had a wedding once. Like, I mean, I've been very lucky where I can count probably on two hands the number of like bad experiences I've had at weddings. Mostly like amazing people, but we were in my office, like meeting space in Manhattan. They had signed the contract, handed me the check, and they said, so how many of these photos are going to be perfect? And I was just like, I felt like my head was just going to like go through the table. I was just like, oh man,
I'm going to open the window and see myself out.
Yeah, this is not going to be good. And it wasn't. But those are the sort of things that like I know to ask questions now. Like as much as the I think that a lot of younger photographers don't realize this, that first call or whatever you do, meeting with potential clients, is as much figuring them out as it is for them to figure you out. Like you actually,
they're not just hiring you. It's a relationship that goes both ways. And everyone in that relationship needs to be comfortable with it. And there have been plenty of clients that I've, taken the job for the paycheck and been like, I think there might have been somebody. I mean, and I the amount of like mental calisthenics and like just bending over backwards to make sure they're happy, because that's really important, is at a great expense to my own personal ability. And I think, again, one of those things with like age and what jobs you take and what jobs you say no to is understanding that taking care of yourself is like super important. It's not just like, well, I could stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning editing these images, but can I do that? And if I do that, like, I know I could do it, but I would need to clear the schedule for the next week because I would need to recover from it. Like, I need to make sure I drink a lot of water. Like, am I eating enough protein? Like, how do you take care of yourself in this job that this crazy field we've chosen to pursue?
And I think one of the things, like one of the common things that comes up in the wedding photography industry is the discussion of like, how are you serving your clients?
Yep.
And I think recognizing that you're not the right person for the job or the person that they need is one of the biggest ways you can serve them, and not be like, I'm going to take this job because I want the money, and go like, hey, and you learn who people are around you. Yeah. Hopefully you have a community of other photographers, but I will refer people to somebody else because like this person does what you need. And that's the conversation I'll have with the potential client. I'll be like, listen, I, enjoyed talking with you, but I don't think I'm the right person. And being able to get to that place, it's hard. And I kind of wish I had gotten there faster, but it's being able to say like, oh, Susan is much better suited to this because what this style, or not even just the style of the images, because there are a lot of wonderful wedding photographers out there, but it might just be personalities. It might be all the other different things, but I will like recommend somebody else and say like, hey, I think that's the person that you need. And it has actually benefited me in the long run, because then those people like have come back to me and said, I understand now when you had that conversation with us and said like, we needed what you do and what we needed were different things. And they've recommended me to other people because I had the foresight to see that, what somebody needed.
And also the photographers that are in your network, if you can refer out to someone and then they can refer back to you, why would you put yourself in a situation that you're going to have to drastically change the way you do things to make a client happy? It's going to end up making no one happy.
Right.
And there are concessions I've made where I'm like, I actually do think I could serve you. I just need to like tweak a few things and I'm fine doing that. But then I think I could serve you, but there's just something that makes me think you'd be happier.
Right.
If my buddy so-and-so.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think that's, that it takes a lot of personal insight to be able to feel comfortable with that. I think that, as you said, hustle culture, there's a lot of like, people think that I got to be grinding all the time. I got to take every possible job. And if I don't, I'm failing. Like, no, you got to help yourself too. Like you got to like the reason how you can have any longevity in this business, especially, is by taking care of yourself and like figuring out how to balance stuff. Like I said, like we were talking about earlier, 50 weddings a year, not good.
And we all take jobs. Like we all take jobs just for the paycheck because like it's
a job.
You got to pay bills, and some years are better than other years. And sometimes I don't have the privilege of being like, I don't really want this one. But if I take it, I'm going to still like, I know I'm going to have to work harder. I'm going to have to do, jump through a few more hoops to make people happy. But I just think with all of the decisions that you make, it does get easier over time because you know yourself better. Right. And you know how you like to exist and show up in your business. And if you're going to make exceptions, you're making those exceptions with the experience behind yourself to know what making that exception is going to look like.
Exactly. So, I mean, like the one thing about like making the concessions, because that was like one of the things that I always failed at early on. I would be like, oh, I'll cut the price down, but I'll still give you the same services and products, whatever. One of the best advice I ever got was in regard to that was, if you're taking something off the price, you're also taking something off of what you offer in some way, so that people realize that you're not just like or they have to give you something in the
price
sense.
is not arbitrary. Yeah.
It's not like, because you do yourself a disservice because people then start thinking like it is like you're just setting it for whatever reason. And if you say, I'm going to give you $300 off, but you have to book this week. Like you have to book within like today or tomorrow, or like those sorts of things where you're getting some, I'll take off X amount, but then I'm removing the album. Or
Right.
like
You
those
could
sorts
down a certain amount, but you're not going to get 8 hours. You're going to get 7. Or your wedding is smaller. We could remove the second photographer because you wouldn't really need one. Like there has to be a trade-off. The only time I'll really come down in price just for funsies is if someone's like, we're getting married on a Thursday in January. And I'm like, well,
okay.
then we can talk, then because it's supply and demand. And I know that there's no one else that's going to be getting married on that day.
Right.
And it's dynamic pricing. Like I can imagine your venue's not as expensive as it would be on a May Saturday.
Right.
So I have more flexibility to like be able to help out. So
there's, and I'll tell people that, like, I've, same thing. It's like, oh, it's, since it's a Thursday or it's a Wednesday and, we're way out of season, like I have a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about a lot of things that, taking on jobs wise, but what other sort of mistakes do you often see newer photographers making, and how can they avoid that? I mean,
this sounds really like this sounds like just so vague and idealistic, but thinking that what you do for a living is who you are. Because, and I see it more now with, like we talked about before, with the content creation part of the social media, where you have to show up on your social media, you have to talk to your clients. And then it just becomes like, you almost have to be an influencer in your field. And this is not like, I don't mind that aspect of it as much because, again, I came at it from a theater background.
Right.
I can turn a camera on myself and start talking. Like that doesn't bother me at all. And in fact, the weirder and sillier I am, the more people find it entertaining, which is news to me. But when I was younger and when I was getting into this, because there's just so much social aspect of what we do, especially now with like, there's so many networking events and get-togethers and things like Engage, like things that you can go to. And I felt like so much of my own self-worth was wrapped up in my business and what it looked like and how it was doing. And that's not a way to live. It's not, I don't want to say healthy, but it's not who you are. So I wish when I was earlier on, I was better at saying like, I'm just not going to do work today. Like I keep bringing up like going to the beach. Like my friends go to the beach every Tuesday in the summer. And I was like, I can't go. I have too much work to do. And it's like, do you though? Like, and do you have to do it on Tuesday? Like, don't you want to be a person? So I think people need a better separation between who they are for work and who they are in real life. And both of those things need to be nurtured really heavily.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's because the pandemic kind of threw a wrench into things. I think that really forced me to like really rethink a lot of stuff. And it's in a similar way, like, you know what? There are days where I'm like sitting in front of my computer kind of going, all right, what do I need to do? Like I kind of know some things and I'm like, and maybe I would be able to focus more if I took a day and just, didn't work and like gave myself some time off and, spend some time with my wife or my dog or friends or whomever. And, released all of that, had some positive energy coming in so that I can then focus on the work product. And actually the work product has gotten better in the sense that like.
Exactly. The more I step away from working 24/7, first of all, I'm better at it when I'm actually doing it. I'm more efficient. Like I realized over the past few years, I used to work at night as well. Like I would work during the day and then night would roll around. I'd get on my laptop. I'd put something on. and I keep working. And then I gesture to the side as if you can see my boyfriend, all of you on the podcast, who is sitting here on the sofa over there. He moved in with me, and I was like, wait a second. I just want to lay on the sofa and watch TV with him at night. I don't want to pick up my laptop. And sometimes I do because I have to, but more and more I want to put it down and just zone out while watching terrible horror movies at night. And we've watched a string of absolute junk over the past few weeks. It's been fantastic. Because we both just, like, at the end of the day, you just want to turn your brain off and just consume the fast food of television.
Yeah.
So we have watched some truly horrible found footage horror movies. It's been delicious.
Sounds wonderful.
But if, like, at night now I watch TV and I take a bath and I read a book, and it's like, oh, this is so much better than doing like 4 more hours of work that weren't productive anyhow.
Right.
And but I almost feel like I had to go too far in the direction of working too much for me to then put my finger on, okay, I've gone too far. We need to go back the other way, because this isn't, like, I hate the phrase of, like, when you're on your deathbed later in your life, like, am I really going to get virtue points for working until midnight every night? Like, that's just not how this works. So, and I realize that saying all of these things is like, it's so privileged to be able to say this. It's like, I'm not going to work at night. Well, I'm very, very grateful that I don't have to.
But
like,
you've worked really hard to get there.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's the thing that people say, like, oh, when they're starting out. And I'm like, listen, yes, you're gonna, like, when you're starting and you're, like, really getting your feet under you, you're gonna do a lot of jobs that, like, you're gonna push yourself. Like I was talking about the job that I didn't take, whatever. There's gonna be some younger person who's gonna take that job, and they're gonna work themselves, to the bone to, like, for that paycheck, and it's like. But you're going to learn a lot from that. And yeah, you're going to figure out that when you get older, or, like, there's going to come a point where that's not the right thing for you. And
or if it is, if you're like, I will work myself to the bone over this job, but I'm going to take it because I need it.
Yeah.
But I know what it's going to look like. I know how to take care of myself. I know how to recover from it. Like,
I'm aware.
But my parents would tell me, like, you need to drink water.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better after a wedding if I've actually hydrated. So like, I would go to a long day of work with, like, a bag of M&Ms and a Coke when I was, like, 23, right? Like, I never drink water. What was water?
Why do I need that?
Yeah, but I feel like the more you take care of yourself and the more you understand who you are as a human being, it just makes life better with work. And it just gives you a nice little healthy separation, just a little.
Absolutely. Okay, we got a couple of questions from listeners.
I love it. Listeners.
This is from Got the Lowdown on Reddit. Tips for networking with venues and other vendors.
Everyone, like, this is what everyone is doing right now. This is the big thing, is networking, because I think a lot of people have realized that planners and venues hold a key that we do not have access to. And if we want access, we need to be friendly with them. They need to know who we are. But now what that has resulted into, and this is literally something my partner and I talk about all the time, is a frantic, like, feeding frenzy of photographers trying to get to know every venue and every planner out there. And some of my planner friends have even said, like, we are inundated with people trying to network with us. And I think just on a photographer side, that they're getting photo and video and floral and stationery and hair and makeup and, like, everything. Everybody. So what I've been doing for networking is, honestly, like, the people that I like working with the most, they're my friends in real life. The planners that I like, the people at venues that I like I text them for funsies.
Yeah.
One of my favorite planners, we're trying to find a date that we can go to the theater together. Like, these are people I want to hang with. So when I go to these networking things that I go to, I'm not really trying to network. I'm trying to make friends. And that feels different because I feel like, first of all, most people have their people that they work with. They planners, they have the people that they're referring. And if you're going to break into that, they really are going to have to want to bring you into their team. So the place I've been enjoying the most, I've been involved with WIPA. And what I like about WIPA is that, what is it, Wedding Industry Professionals Association, something like that. There has to be an educational component to some of the things they do, and then there has to be a community outreach. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to go volunteer with WIPA Philadelphia at an animal shelter.
Awesome.
And there's a 50% chance I will walk out with a cat. But like, listen, it's helping the community, right? It's outreach by taking in more animals. No, but I like that there's, they have masterminds and panel discussions, and it's not just let's all get together and dress fancy and go to parties, which I like the dress fancy part. I don't like the parties part. But going to these things, and I find that like I'm going to have a much better conversation with someone I'd like to work with if I'm sitting next to them at a printing station for a photo booth at a charity event. I actually get to talk to them versus cocktail party networking, which is my own personal circle of hell. It's awful.
Yes.
Awful. And I went to something recently called Kindred, which I thought was actually really, really special. It was 50 planners, 50 planners, 25 videographers, 25 photographers. And they set it up kind of like speed dating, where you did a Zoom call with the people that ran Kindred. They get to know you a little bit. And then you get 6 one-on-ones over the course of the time you're there. And they match you up with people that they think that you would work well with.
That you fit with. That's a great idea.
And they're very conscious of like who they sit you with at dinner and who they sit you with at lunch. And it really felt like I was there to make friends instead of being like, hi, what do you do? How can we work together?
Right.
So it's creepy. So I've been going to these networking things, but finding people I want to hang out with in real life as well.
I think that's where you find the best connections with, like that same here, like the people that I work the most with are people that I'm friendly with, and we actually do like hang out and do stuff together outside of the working part. One thing I would like to add for anybody who's listening is that don't mass email people.
No. Or DM. Don't do it.
Don't just like DM people. If you're going to reach out, be very selective about who you reach out to, like, and actually learn about them, whatever they do, if they're florist or a venue or whatever. Like, don't just come in and go, I'd really love to work with you. And like, please start referring me.
Yeah.
I have had like florists and makeup people contact me and say like, please start referring me to your clients. And I'm like, why would I do that?
Also,
like,
what?
Yeah.
Like, how am I ever going to refer a florist? Like, I'm not the person to maybe hair and makeup, but like, and I also, when I'm trying to get to know people, like if there's someone on Instagram that I want to know better, I'll comment on their posts and whatnot, but I'll mostly respond to their stories. And like, there's a planner that I really like in the DC area, and we message back and forth about handbags. Like, it has nothing to do with work, and we've never worked together, but she's someone I think is cool and someone I'd like to hang out with. So, and also the other thing you have to consider if you're emailing and you're DMing people is, are you even getting in touch with the person you want to get in touch with?
Right.
Because so many of these people don't manage their own social. So the person that's responding to you could not even be the person that you would need to be in touch with in the first place.
Right.
So, yeah.
Do some research.
Yep. Do some research and then go talk to people and go meet people in person.
Yeah.
Don't ask them to go have coffee with you. They don't want to have coffee with you.
Right.
Like, they're busy. They just don't.
They don't want to leave their job and like, or whatever they're doing and like come like
meet with randoms. Like, I like going to these networking events and then complaining about how I don't like being at networking events. And the people that I complain with, I'm like, you're my people. But I've met some really great people at these networking events just by going and having like random conversation with folks. And I find that's a lot better than doing what everyone else is doing, which is like frantic cold calling.
I think that's brilliant. It's like, I mean, like, like I get way too many like cold calling emails of people like, oh, I want to do, or my favorite is when I talk about like second shooters. People want to be a second shooter who will send an email to me and 40 other photographers, not even in like a BCC, but they're all in the two. Like, and I'm just like, And then, of course, somebody on that list replies all, and it starts a whole like cascade of things. But it's like
tricky too, because I'll have people emailing me and be like, "Are you hiring second shooters?" And I'm like, "There's actually a part on my website about employment, and it says I'm not hiring." So if there's someone I'm going to want to reach out to, I just need to do a little pre-research before I'm going to send emails that might not land
right.
properly. Like there's a planner that I really like, and I can't tell if it was like one of her own webinars or if she was on a podcast, and she was like, if you're going to reach out to me, this is what you need to say. And like, don't send me a link to your Instagram, send me a picture, send me like your favorite picture and include it in the email so I can see it. Don't make people click out of the email. And I was like, that's so helpful because you're telling me how to reach out to you in the way that is going to best speak to what you're needing. And I think some of this is people don't know, and I don't think anyone's being, malicious or irresponsible. I just think that there is an extra, like if you're going to go interview for a job, you're going to research the company that you're interviewing and the position that you're interviewing for, doing a little pre-thought before cold reaching out to someone, which is why I don't even like cold reaching out to people. I like to just kind of like slide into their DMs to chatter about nothing. Like the planner that I talked about before who waited for a while to reveal his wedding. I've never worked with him, but we've been Facebook friends for like 8 years. And we became Facebook friends because he was renovating a house and put up some really cool curtains that he liked. And I was like, oh my God, those curtains are so cool. And then we talked about the curtains. And now when we see each other at networking events, we know who the other is.
You have a basis to go from.
It's personal. And it's not me just being like, great florals. It's me responding to things that I actually feel really moved by. And then it's more of a unique connection.
It becomes more personal that way. And that's why, I mean, anything we talk about it in like, people hiring you, it's all emotionally based. And so it's like, if somebody's going to refer you, they're going to refer people they want to work with. Like they're going to refer people they want to hang out with. Cause I mean, let's face it, when it comes to like planners and photographers, it's like, we end up spending like almost the entire day together. And it's like, if I don't feel like I want to hang out with you, I am never going to refer you to people. Like if you have like a troubling attitude or whatever, like that makes me feel like I'm not going to say when a couple asks me for a florist, because it's happened a few times. So I get makeup a lot, or DJs. People like, oh, we're still looking for a DJ. Do you know anybody?
Video's the big one for me that people ask about video because I don't do video. And it's like, I'm going to refer my friends, people that I know are going to do great work for you, but also we have a hell of a good time hanging out together.
Right.
And for your guests who don't know that photo and video are different teams, we're going to seem like one symbiotic unit because we're buddies. Like in real life, we're friends.
Yeah, we like each other. All right.
Who doesn't want to hang with their friends on a wedding day?
Exactly.
Really?
It's way more fun.
Correct.
This was a really interesting question. And I had that, what is a must-have piece of equipment that isn't photography gear? And they brought an example, which I was like, oh, that's really, I'd never thought about that. Apparently Ray Alvarez talks about bringing command wall hooks to hang dresses.
Earplugs.
Yeah. I always forget mine.
Hands down, earplugs.
That's the thing I always misplace.
It is. I have been wearing earplugs at weddings since I think my second year of being in business. I have too many photographer friends I already have bad hearing. Like my partner and I joke about it all the time. I can like never hear him. Like I'll be in the other room and I'll be like, what are you saying? But I can't. It's the earplugs constantly. I'd say that was the big one. I used to bring like command strips or things to hang dresses. And then I would run out of them and I would never like restock them up again. Now I'm like thinking through my bag. It's nothing that exciting. Electrolyte tablets and earplugs and a bunch of Advil.
Liquid IV or whatever is like it will save you if you forget to drink enough water. Okay. Oh,
and an Uncrustable sandwich. That pretty much always has to go with me. It is a perfect food.
I never yuck anybody's yum. I like an Uncrustable. All right. A couple more questions. We're
I
almost
love
at
it.
the
Yeah.
end. This is from me. These are not from most. What advice would you give your younger self if you could calm
Calm
down?
down. Like I would literally just be like, none of this is life or death. Just take a breath. This is just work. Like and you don't have to do it all now. I am so relentlessly competitive with myself. I have to achieve all of the things at once. Like just slow down. You will make yourself insane. Which I did. And it was great. Like I achieved what I wanted to achieve, but like I feel like a lot of people who own their own businesses, again, there's just a lot tied up personally in the success or non-success of your business in a way that people with other jobs don't feel. And I wish I had taken some of the pressure off of myself to be like, this is a long road and you don't have to run the first part of it. Like it's really okay. Also, maybe start saving a little earlier financially.
Yes.
Just like a couple of years earlier. And I did start saving, but not until I was 30. So I wish I'd gotten a little bit more of a jump start on that. But again, that was a privilege that I didn't really have. So
yeah, I mean, you do it when you can. I think that like what you said about like my wife would always say like, don't take it personally. And then you sit there and go like, it's my name on the door. It's
and
hard.
my art that I made. How do you not? But I've also realized a lot of times when clients take something out on me or they're upset about something, they're not really upset at me. They're not upset at the photos. They're upset about something about the day or about a relationship that I don't know about, like with their mom or their best friend. Like it has something else to do with something else. And the photos are a representation of it. So that has helped me be a lot more gentle with people when they are unhappy, because it's not, I mean, unless I literally walked up to a client and punched them in the face and they were like, I'm mad at you because you punched me in the face. That's rational.
Yeah, there's a million different reasons why people like make decisions or like get upset about.
And we're not the main character. Like I'm the main character in my own life, but at somebody else's wedding, I'm like a walk-on player.
Exactly.
So
I'm a really cool guest star for that episode. That's
if it were Law and Order, I would have been the murderer. But no, just like telling myself like it's personal, but it's not meant personally towards me. Would have calmed me down a lot. Also, maybe start therapy a little sooner, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I mean, I can say yes to that as well. I mean, it would have helped me a lot more. I'm a big proponent of therapy.
Oh, and maybe go to the gym in your 30s. Don't wait until your 40s. Yeah, all these things I wish I knew. Like, Diet Coke is not hydration.
No, it's not.
We should put that as number one. That would have been the main
top
one.
of the list.
Diet Coke is not water.
Yeah, so that was a lesson also. Like, this is why I have my big Stanley Cup.
My emotional support Stanley water bottle. Correct.
How much water can you consume in a day?
As much as I can these days.
Yeah. Last question.
Yeah.
You love dogs. Yes. I love dogs. How do we get more people to agree that dogs are awesome?
There are people that don't think that dogs are awesome.
I don't want to hang out with those people.
That feels like a trick question. If someone thinks a dog is not awesome, I don't want to know you. Like just look at them. Walk on the street and look at dogs. How can you not just think that's the best thing you've ever seen?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always, my wife jokes that, oh, look at that face.
For everyone listening, I just held up my best friend in the whole world. This is Chloe.
No,
she's a perfect queen. So
she's so cute. I'm glad that my door is shut and my dog can't come in here and hear me talking about other dogs.
She's also asleep, so now she's going back to sleep.
She's like,
But the dogs are they're wonderful. They're loving. They take care of you when you don't feel good. They will listen to you complain all day long. They won't talk back. Like again, everyone should just understand their sheer perfection.
My dog, she loves me very dearly. She's a border collie. I was feeling sick few weeks ago, and I was just like, I don't know what I had, but I was like feverish and just like aches. I tested negative for COVID and the flu, so I'm not sure what I was fighting off. But I was just laying on the couch, just like shivering and like horrible headache. And she had no sympathy. She was like, I want to go like outside. I want to go for a hike. I want to like, I have a lot of energy. Like
My dogs will just lay on me. They will literally just surround me and lay on me. It's amazing.
She also like every day, like at a certain time, working from home, she'd come into my office at like 3:30 every day, and like for snuggle time. She's like, because at first I didn't realize if she needed to go out to go to the bathroom or what the deal was, but then I figured out after a couple of months of her doing it that she was trying to herd me to the bedroom so that we could lay down and snuggle together. 15 minutes. That's all she wants.
Oh.
But I was like, it took me a while to figure it out because I was just like, are you hungry? Like, do you need to go? Like, and she's not saying, she was just like staring at me, and I'm like, why are you staring at me? But then she would like try to like nudge me towards the stairs to like go. I'm like, okay, what's upstairs? What do you? I'm like, and then eventually I just like went upstairs and like laid on the bed, and she just jumped up and like curled next to me, and I was like, oh, this is what you want.
Oh.
So now she comes to my office. I'm like, do you want to cuddle? And she's like, gets all excited and
yes,
runs
I
upstairs.
do.
Yeah, I do. But when you're feeling sick and you're not letting me out to like go and like expend some of this energy, I have no sympathy for you. Hey, photographers, imagine losing every photo, project, or document in a single crash. Scary, right? That's why there's Backblaze, the simple, reliable, and automatic way to back up your important data and photos to the cloud. Photographers, creatives, and everyday users, Backblaze protects what matters most with unlimited backup and easy recovery whenever you need it. I use Backblaze as part of my workflow to back up my most recent shoots until they're delivered to my clients, my most important business photos and documents as well, and all of my personal photos and videos. It's just $9 a month or $99 a year for unlimited data backup from one computer with 1 year version history and access to your data from anywhere. Crashes happen. With Backblaze, your files are safe, secure, and just a click away. Start your backup today at nerdyphotographer.com/recommends/Backblaze or click the link in the episode notes, because peace of mind is priceless. That's nerdyphotographer.com/Backblaze, because you never know when a crash is going to happen. Hey there, Nerdy Photo crew. There's one thing you should never be caught without as a professional photographer, and that's a good contract, both for dealing with your clients and dealing with subcontractors that you may work with along the way. Be sure to head over to nerdyphotographer.com and go to our shop and find our contract templates for portrait photography, event photography, wedding photography, as well as dealing with second photographers, associate photographers, and any other subcontractors that you might have. Check it out and keep your business safe.
Hey. And now for my favorite part of the show. What's that say? Useless information. This is always death.
Fair enough.
All right, now it's time for our useless information for this episode.
I love it.
Susan, when do you think the first, technically, plastic surgeries or cosmetic surgeries were performed?
Oh, no. Probably way further back than I would think.
Ancient Rome.
That feels unhygienic.
Yeah, well, it was mostly for like people who had been injured in the arena, in the Colosseum. Like it was to like fix issues that people had after like fights in the Colosseum.
Yeah, and that sounds like sepsis waiting to happen.
Yeah, most likely. We're just going to work on your ear here. We're going to reconstruct your ear.
Your ear's going to fall off.
Yeah, it's not like we found it. We're just going to sew it back on. It should be clean. Should we clean it off first? Maybe we'll just pour some wine on it.
That's what I was going to say. Pour wine on it.
That's very Italian. The what we now consider cosmetic surgery really started in the early 1900s. Interesting.
That's actually a very interesting fact.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm I'm a cornucopia of like
I want this.
of useless, and my wife says I should go on Jeopardy, but that's not organized like anything. Like, not specific.
Random
categories.
information. It's not helpful.
Never. Susan, thank you so much for being on the show. I really enjoyed this.
It was so fun.
This is great. You're welcome to come back anytime.
And now I know about plastic surgery.
Yeah.
So
where can people find you if they're looking?
people can find me on the internet. My website is susanstripling.com. My Instagram is Susan Stripling Photography.
You should go check it out. She takes amazing photos, people.
I try.
Welcome back.
Crisis averted.
Thank you, robot. While you were gone, I reconfigured our shuttle's proton engines to neutralize the acidic spittle of the aliens in the hull. Long story short, science. Many thanks to Susan Stripling for being on the show. I'm glad our schedules finally coincided and we were able to get this recorded. You can find Susan's info and links in the episode notes. Go follow her if you don't already and check out her work. And while you're clicking on links, be sure to subscribe to the show. Leave a review because that helps new people discover the program. And follow along with the Nerdy Photographer on social media at The Nerdy Photo. That's at The Nerdy Photo. No dots, no underscores, no dashes. On Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, Reddit. You don't want to miss out on all the shenanigans that happen between the episodes. Do you?
Conditions normal.
Do you have to say it so loud? Until next time, everybody, stay safe and stay nerdy.
Who's that coming back to town? You better start listening. Who's your heart been beating about? You better listen.